Carol, Kevin, thank you for joining me. It only feels like yesterday we were sat in the bike stand over there welcoming you as the new proud owners of Port Vale Football Club. And now tomorrow you kick off your first home league game here at Vale Park. How does that feel?
Unbelievably exciting, unbelievably. We've been trying to keep our feet vaguely on the floor, haven't we? But it just hasn't worked at all. It's fantastic.
We were very grateful when the fixtures came out that the first match was away, because that gave us another 7 days to get Vale Park ready, and we've needed all of those 7 days.
Yeah.
Even now when you go round, it's a hive of activity of people working on getting, it's like having the biggest Christmas at home and everybody's family coming, and then we're in the, have we got enough food, have we got enough drink, have we cleaned the house well enough, is everybody going to be okay, and our biggest worry about tomorrow is, will we run out of pies? We're desperate not to run out of pies.
John Askey's worried about the result and we're worried about pies.
Yeah.
You need to get your priorities right.
Yeah, no, we're just leaving the result to John. We'll look after the pies. So that's our biggest thing. And it's just been fantastic. So many people are coming. The first match has been sponsored by Staffs Uni, which I'm really pleased about. I do a lot of work with Liz Barnes, who's the Vice-Chancellor. And so it's really nice to have them here as our very first sponsors. And we had the paper come through today with their guests, and I was so pleased because they're all people that I know really well, and they're people that I would really want at my first game. So I'm grateful to Staffs Uni. I'm grateful to all the volunteers and all the staff at Port Vale who have just been beyond belief.
And they absolutely have. I mean, we're sat talking to you now and I can see behind you the pitch. It's green, it just looks fantastic.
You've nicked my next question there, Kevin. I was about to say, just looking at that pitch, what a great job Speedy's done with it. But this is the calm before the storm tomorrow.
Absolutely. You know, and you go around, there's people been cleaning seats and everything, isn't there? You just, you know, and they're not looking for the limelight or anything else like that. But I'd just like to flag them up a bit, because the amount of work that's gone into this place is unbelievable over the last 3 months.
The volunteers have been fantastic, haven't they? The amount of work from not only the brand new media suite, but to the new gym, to the painting around the place. They've been terrific, haven't they?
I hadn't even got to that. I went into the media suite yesterday, I think. I thought, wow, Max will be really happy.
I am.
And we went into one of the places that's been done over to a gym. There's all the kit in there. There's everything going on. I mean, it's just so exciting, this place, because there's such a buzz of everybody doing things and trying to do things, isn't it? Yeah.
I had an interview with Mike Bagley a couple of days ago, and I insisted on having it in the media suite in front of the board. And he was saying, Carol, it's for the paper, and we're just going to record it. No one's going to see the board. I said, I don't care. There's a board. I'm sitting in front of the board. And talking about boards, we just sat here now and look up there to the new AutoNet insurance stand at the away end. And I have to give a big shout out to Mick Fitzjohn and Ian Donaldson. I did have a little bit of a go at Mick Fitzjohn the other day, because they've made that stand look so beautifully that it now makes the other three look a bit shabby. So I now need to get some work done on the other three to bring it up to the standard of that one.
So you got more to do on your to-do list, but looking at the things on the pitch now, great what's been going off the pitch, but you experienced your first league game last week away to Colchester United. What a great point that was as well.
It was, but we need to find another way for matches, don't we? Because we didn't breathe, and we can't go on not breathing for 90 minutes.
I mean, we scored after 5 minutes. Popey got a great penalty, and then it was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful, wasn't it?
And a quick shout out to the fans that travelled there. 427 making a 450-mile round trip for that game. That's some following by the fans.
And a lot of it isn't motorway, it's uphill and down.
That was the way that Patrick directed us. I think for most people it's motorway. I think that was just the way we went. But our police officer, so we have a dedicated football officer, Nikki, and she'd had a call from their dedicated football officer to say how exemplary our fans were. The behaviour was superb, and she couldn't fault them. And so, you get feedback like that these people, our fans are going and representing our club at away matches in such a way that just makes you feel so proud. And we had our first experience in a boardroom. We were as nervous as heck, weren't we? We didn't know what to do, what to say. And I have to say that Robbie, who's the chair at Colchester, thank you, was really good, and he kind of summed up what it's like being the chair of a football club in the league. He said, look, for the next 90 minutes we don't want you guys to get 3 points because we want the 3 points, and we will do all we can to make sure we get the 3 points and you don't. When that's over, then it's completely different. Anything that you need, anything that you want, we are here for you. He's invited us to go and spend a couple of days with them to learn how they run their football club, things that they learnt when they bought it. You couldn't be in a more supportive
he was
community.
Just magic. He was
lovely,
was just magic.
Really lovely.
Yeah, if I'm going to shout out to things, I'd like to
shout out to him. I did say to him, well, you've had 1 point, don't expect another 3 when you come to us.
Now that you've had your first league game, you've had a couple of games already here.
Shout out to a man that's walking behind you at the moment, Mr. Brown. And it's really down to him. It's just there's Steve Brown walking up to Steve's speed, and it's a magical moment because they are the two that without them we would not be holding a football match tomorrow, because that grass is so green because of Steve's speed, and this stadium is so good because of Steve Brown.
Talking about that first league game tomorrow, you've experienced your fair share of games here already as fans and in the pre-season, but how are you going to feel when you see that team walk out for their first league game here at Vale Park in a packed out ground as well, it's fair to say?
I think I'm going to be unbelievably proud. I think is probably the first thing. I'm getting tarted up in a suit. I've never had to wear a suit before to the football grounds, but I'm doing it happily for them. Do you know what I mean? Just as a little respect for all the hard work that our team have put in before. We went up to Scotland, didn't we, to the sort of pre-season training, and we kept out of the way while they were doing things, but we spent the evenings with them, and they're just a great bunch, aren't they? Great bunch.
Yeah, people say, oh, did you enjoy watching the guys training? I said, I never saw them train. We usually had to sleep then, didn't we?
We did, yeah. But in the evenings, they just couldn't have been nicer, could they?
No, and I think what I'm seeing is a group of men who really get on well with each other. There's it's like everybody's supportive of each other, and there's a great humour. What I saw last week, and I was talking to John Rudge afterwards and saying, the way that John Askey and Dave Kevin work, it's incremental gains. So it's what did we learn from that match? One of the reasons we've got the media suite is it's also for them to see recordings of how they played. Then we had a chat with Nathan Smith, didn't we, last season? And he was saying that the feedback he'd had since he'd been working with John and Dave on how he played. And he said, I didn't really. He said on one match.
Didn't it?
Yeah, he said on one match. They said to him, look, on that you were jogging, and he said, we honestly thought we weren't. We were running, and it's only when we saw ourselves we thought, we weren't going as fast as we could do.
I know which match that was as well.
Yeah, I know which one it was, and you see the fitness of the team now. And at the match last week, there was one of our players, and he went running down the pitch really fast, one end to the other, and I thought, who's that? And I looked, it was Popey. I thought, oh my goodness, you don't expect Popey to be the one that's belting down at the speed of light.
He was good, wasn't he?
And he was, I've seen Popey play for a few years now, but I haven't seen him playing as well as he is now. His fitness level, and it's just reflective of everybody's fitness level and the way they play. So I'm really pleased. We have kept out the way. I did say to John last Friday that I just needed to tell him who to pick for his team, and I got him for about 2 seconds, didn't I?
He was really...
His face went, and I couldn't keep it going, so I had to laugh, because it's very much John and Dave's team, and while we're on shout-outs, that backroom staff, you know yourself the way that they all work together, and they support each other, and it's a very much a joint enterprise. So no, I'm delighted, absolutely delighted, and looking forward to tomorrow, and thank everybody for coming.
This morning was particularly busy down at the club shop and ticket office, fans queuing up down Hamel Road to pick up their Salford tickets. What was that like?
Well, today didn't go as planned, did it?
No.
So we were having the morning off this morning to prepare ourselves ready for tomorrow, a very exciting day. And I kept getting messages from people saying, about the queue and the queue going down Hamel Road, and it was like the good old days. And in the end, I said to Kevin, I really think we should go, because there's, you're asking, these people are standing in a queue for a very long time, and the least we can do is go and speak to them. So we both got ready very quickly and shot to Burslem. Our youngest daughter did say that we were like Minnie and Mickey Mouse entertaining the queues in Disney World, but she's what keeps our feet grounded. It was amazing, wasn't it?
It was
absolutely amazing.
It was so uplifting.
Yeah.
I can't even properly describe it, because all of these people, and almost without exception, they were being nice to us and thanks for this, and it just made my soul leap. I'm an old boy now, I feel about 15 years old. It's just so exciting.
And a testament to the fans as well, because the weather wasn't great this morning, and they were still there in their numbers picking up tickets to support not only yourselves but John Askey and the team as well.
Yeah, very much so. Because a lot of the queue obviously was waiting for Salford tickets. I did say to them that when we get a queue that size for Tuesday night at Carlisle, then I'll know that we've really, really made it. But it took us a little bit by surprise today. We weren't expecting that many people. We'd restricted the sale to season ticket holders. We then had to take a decision, which was a big decision, because there was people in the queue at the back of the queue phoning up the ticket office and buying tickets, and then people at the front of the queue, right, so we're getting a bit cross because they said, well, hang on, we've been here 2 hours, and then this was happening. So we had to take a decision to not take phone things, which isn't a decision that came easy. It isn't one that we wanted to take. But when you've got a queue going down Hamel Road in the rain, then you have to give them a priority. I think, if that happened again, we would probably do some sort of lottery, or a different way, because I do understand that if you're working and you can't get here, or you live a long way away and you can't get here, to not be able to get through on the phone will be frustrating. I completely get that. But it was a decision that I did, support.
The circumstances overwhelmed us, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and I think for this match, we only had a very few tickets for Salford, and we knew that there would be a big call for them. I didn't expect a queue down Hamel Road.
How many do we have? 1,400 or something?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Do you think it shows the change in times as well, and the support that you really have, the fact that we understand it's a new ground that fans want to visit, but to still turn up like that, I mean, I've been here 18 months and I've never seen, queues like that for tickets before, so it's a real credit to the fans. As we said before, the distance they travelled last Saturday for Colchester, and now the tickets that they're selling for Salford, it's a real credit to them.
Yeah, it was very humbling, really, because we weren't just watching the queues. I was there talking to just about everybody who was in the queue, and it was a humbling experience, really, because these people are, most of them are Vale through and through, aren't they? And they've suffered so much over the previous years. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So just even to be able to give these guys and girls hope was magnificent.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that we've sold so many more season tickets this year. So when you do an away match and you say, right, it's only season ticket holders, that's a bigger pool than it was. And so to get people here, we did have to help Reverend Jeff, because he was going to be late for a funeral, and he had waited in the queue for an hour, and we didn't really feel we could explain to the family of this poor person who died that they couldn't have a minister because he was in the queue for a ticket. So we did help him out. But it was, even having experiences like that and talking to him and talking to, some that we've got to know quite well now, haven't we? So it was like seeing some old friends and making new ones. But thank everybody so much. We are really, really grateful.